starting with the today's topic. It is, what is business? Now, what do you mean by business? Business is any human activity which helps you to derive money out of it, right? So first, you can say, is to acquire wealth. That means your first feature is that you are doing business. Why? Just to acquire wealth. So you want to derive money out of it. Now second, what occupation can you get involved into? You will have to either buy, right, and sell goods. You will have to buy something, right, or you will have to sell something. Next, you can say the activity which shall be involved is, you can do production of some goods, right? Because producing some goods has to be important, because if you're not producing something, how will you sell something? मैंने कुछ purchase करा, you bought raw material, but if you don't process that raw material or you do not perform any processing activity, then you cannot sell the raw material like this, na? If you are a business, you will have to produce something and then you will have to sell it. For example, if there is an input, we are talking that we want to create as an output, we want biscuits, right? So for input, you will have to purchase some raw material, which shall be obviously some flour, right? You will have to purchase it. You will have to purchase some essence, right? You will have to purchase some chocolates, you say, right? You might have to purchase some sugar. So all these things, they have to be put into some machines and to be processed in such a way that they form biscuits out of it, right? So this whole activity shall be clubbed as that. We can say what we are doing is, we are doing some business, right? Now the production can be in the sense, you can be selling goods or you can be transferring goods to somebody. That means the possession should also be transferred after the goods are being processed, because this is raw material, right? And these are called finished goods. This is what? This is finished goods. That means the goods which are ready to be sold in the market. So we have to see all the time that when we are making goods or services, we need to feel that they have to be produced, they have to be transferred, and the possession has to be shifted towards the consumer or the customer, whosoever he is, right? Next thing should be, or the next you can say feature of business is that the dealings should be done regularly. So regular dealings, or you can say continuous dealings, any word you can use, because you will be doing the business for a long period of time. So for all the time, you have to get involved that you are doing it regularly. You are doing it on a regular basis. You are purchasing raw material, you are selling, you are again purchasing. So this should happen again and again. Then only it can be called a business. If there is no continuity, that means you are not doing it regularly. That means you are not doing business. If once I just purchase something, that can be done for your personal purposes also, right? That cannot be called business. So if you are doing business, you have to do it on a regular basis, or at equal intervals, you can say. The next thing, we want to acquire what? We want to earn profit. Profit is compulsory. Why? Because the business cannot survive without profits. A business is nil without profits. If you are not earning profits, you cannot survive. And if you cannot survive in the working organization these days, that means you are not a good business. So once you will survive, then you will grow, then you will expand. So all the you can say the stages of the business all depend upon the amount of profits you derive out of your own business. Next is creation of utilities. That means some utility should be made out of whatever finished goods you are making. It should be such that everybody is utilizing it in one or the other way. That means they should be used somewhere. So our main aim is that we have to see that the finished goods are being utilized by somebody, or you can say it is done for the customer satisfaction. That means the consumer needs to be satisfied. Whoever is purchasing the goods, he should feel that satisfaction, right, that I have paid this much amount of money. If you buy a thing for rupees 100, so you should get that amount of satisfaction, right? So the quality and everything should be equivalent to the price which has been set for that thing. So either you talk about the consumer satisfaction in the place utility or time utility, that means the time he spends upon it, the money he spends upon it, money utility, everything should be derived out of that. So then only it will be called a business, right? Next is what, that it carries high element of risk. That means in doing business there is a lot of risk. Now you might have heard, beta, there are so many biscuit brands which are available in the market. It is Bourbon, you can say it is Tiger, there is Parle G, right? There is these dairy milk cookies are there, right? So there are so many things which are available in the market, but are we buying everything? Hide and seek, many people, they are very fond of these biscuits, right? Though they are expensive, because Bourbon is, you can say it is an expensive one, hide and seek is an expensive one, Good Day is an expensive one, whereas if you see Tiger, this is a very cheap brand, it is very reasonable. Parle G is very reasonable. Cookies are, you can say it is a next graded level, right? These are too much hi-fi that everybody does not buy cookies, right? So it all depends on what, on your utility. If you can eat the biscuits which are of a lower price, that means you are getting equal utility out of it. After eating the biscuits, it does not give you anything, right? So it has to give you some satisfaction out of it. But some firms, you can see, beta, they are at risk. Why? Because Tiger and Parle G, they both are providing the biscuits at rupees 10, whereas Bourbon, I don't think it starts from 30, right? It's around 30, the minimum backing. So what happens is, this Bourbon is facing competition from Tiger and Parle G, right? Why? Because they are giving them a high competition. The person will feel, I will buy 3 units of Tiger rather than buying 1 unit of Bourbon. So there is high risk. Bourbon has to create his own market, so that one person, if goes to market, he asks for Bourbon, right? I don't want anything else, I want this. So there is quite you can say quite a high amount of risk, because at all times you will see that each category is not selling equal amount of biscuits. No, there are different categories. Now you will find that there are artificial flavors put on, and you will find a cheap one. You can get a substitute of Good Day also, right, which is 20 or something like that. So it is all what? It gives you that, he says that you want utility. You just want satisfaction, na? You want the taste of cashew nuts. So that cashew nuts can be taken up in 10 rupees also. Why to spend 40 or 50 rupees on Good Day, right? So there is high risk. Good Day faces a good amount of risk, that it has to create his own market, and the consumers should be so much utilized after using that, and they are ready to pay that 40 or 50 rupees, right? So this gives you a high amount of risk. Now acquiring wealth, you can also write that it is an economic activity, because it is obviously giving you some money. So you can manipulate the points as per your requirement. And for class, each class you will find these points only. One or another point you can get out is that it is also an art as well as science. That means the business is an art as well as science. Why? What is art? Art is what? It is my creativity, right? If it is my art of teaching you, it is my own creativity, it is my own talent, I have a skill, right? So that is what? That is art. But creativity, if you talk about, creativity comes with what? It comes with experience, right? And if you get experience, it gives you what? It gives you perfection, right? So you have to see that all these things, they are interlinked, then only it becomes an art. Whereas if we talk about that it is science, how is business a science? If we talk about science, science is what? That there should be some methodology, right? And for doing every business better, you have to follow some methodology. You cannot, if you have no method, and how can you achieve the profits in the business? It's not possible, right? So you have to use some scientific techniques. These are the key words which you can use, right? So you have to use some scientific techniques for good application. You have to use good methodology, then only you will be able to attain good amounts of profits out of the business. You can subscribe the channel for more videos, and the next topic I'll relate and I'll put up the heading, then you can follow. Thank you so much.